Hello and welcome to Impact Specialist Finance. Today I've got Foundation Home Loans Head of Sales Mark Whitear with me. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much for having me.
Just wanted to go through with our broker audience a few things about Foundation, and why a broker would use Foundation. So perhaps you want to start off, tell us a little bit about Foundation and where it sits in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think historically, since we came back into the market in 2014, the main reason anybody would want to come and do some business with Foundation is around our buy-to-let proposition. It's evolved over the period since we came back to the market, but we offer such a broad range of buy-to-let options. So right from individual buy-to-lets right through portfolio landlords, limited companies, HMOs, multi-units, and also short-term lets. So that's really been what we've been known for, is that specialist, professional landlord in the main proposition. Sure. More recently, over the last 2 years, we've been testing a residential proposition because as we move forward, we'd like to do more business on residential. And last year, we moved that through our attestation period with the SCA. So I think as we go forward, you'll see us being known not just for that specialist buy-to-let, but also some specialist residential market.
Okay, great.
As well.
And the buy-to-let sector at the moment, how are you finding that? Because there's a lot of talk about it. It's been kicked a lot of times recently.
It has, and I think we've got over those kick-ins with the tax changes, although they are starting to impact the landlords probably now, is that first real hit of those tax changes and the stamp duty. But we seem to have settled down, but we've settled into a space where I think we're seeing the advancement of the professional landlord, and they're going from strength to strength and growing, and then less part-time landlords, people like myself who maybe want to, have a little dabble, probably put off by the tax changes, unless we really think that we can build a significant portfolio. So that's where we've seen the changes as well within our own business.
Okay, and is it a positive attitude out there at the moment? Is it really vibrant and buoyant?
It feels really vibrant. I think towards the second half of last year, we kind of saw us slowing down, certainly in quarter three, around August, September time, business seemed to, but I think that was all around election worries and stuff to do with Brexit, although we hate to mention it.
Sure.
But I think that was a genuine concern for people and stopped people from making those key decisions.
Yeah.
As we moved into quarter four, we saw a lot of that not happening. And the market returning to where we expected it to be. And since we returned in January, we've seen that really kick on.
Okay. There's a lot of sort of landlords out there who've sort of been the single buy-to-let property landlord, etc. Now they might be looking at a longer term investment, maybe going to 3, 4, 5 buy-to-lets and so on and so on. Is it a good time for a broker to actually be making contact with their clients right now and saying, this is a really good opportunity?
It definitely. I think this is the perfect time. The market's quite buoyant. There seems to be a lot of property out there. What we're seeing is quite a diversification as well. At the same time, people are choosing different types of properties to buy. Okay. So we're seeing a lot more properties and applications, certainly for our short-term and holiday let proposition. Seems to be because slightly different tax treatment on the holiday lets. Yeah. So we're seeing a move into that, and we're certainly seeing a big leap into the HMO and multi-unit world as people are looking to increase the relative net incomes that they're getting from their properties.
Sure, and maybe Airbnbs as well?
Definitely Airbnbs. That's why when I say short-term let, Airbnb, that's perfect for us.
Sure, which leads us really good into the next question. Where do you see the real growth in 2020?
For us, let's look at it in two ways. So we've got the market. IMLA is predicting that the market will be flat or maybe dropping by 1 billion in the year ahead, with a further drop in the year after. So, and last year we were fairly flat as well. For us as a business, we're seeing nothing but growth. Right. So if we look at last year, for example, we saw growth of in excess of 60% last year. And this year we're going to be pushing on for another 45-50% growth on top of that. So in a market that's fairly flat, we're grabbing quite a lot of market share, which is good for me, good for my team. Shows that we're doing the right things. For us as a business, we'll see growth aspirations being met by broadening our distribution. So we haven't got quite full market distribution yet. We've got a couple of key players that we're looking to bring on this year. We'll be expanding our proposition slightly. Not massively on the buy-to-let side, as I've already said. We already cover a broad range of that. There's some little tiny niches where we might see some slight changes, but more importantly on the residential side, as we see that grow from being a small part of our business, I think within the year ahead we'll probably see it accounting for more than 10% of our business, and then hoping to kick on in the years ahead.
Sure. Okay, and then you mentioned distribution there. Obviously, we're one of your packagers.
You are one of our key distributors.
Where do you see key distributors, packagers sitting in over the next couple of years with Foundation?
We want the broadest distribution we can have, and it's really important that we engage and work with all of our distribution partners. At the moment, our packager channel accounts for about 15% of our overall business, and I don't think we can see that changing too much over the years ahead. It's a really key channel for us.
Sure.
But where we need to add is we've got a couple of key networks that we want to do some more business with, and obviously once we get them on board, it'll probably actually increase the business that we do with our packager panels as well, because they'll have established relationships with those networks.
Absolutely, there's a lot of stuff with restructuring with packagers on various network panels at the moment as well, so it's all good for us to
all fits together
try and
nicely.
work, especially with on-site underwriters and so on. Just really a couple of questions just to wrap up. Is buy-to-let right now a really good investment?
Yes, and that's unequivocal. I think if you look at history, that's where people always wanted to invest their money in property. People like property because it's tangible. They can see it, they can look at it, they can go visit it. And historically, over a longer period, and for those professional landlords who are into their property portfolios for this longer period, I think it's a great investment.
Okay.
And it's proved by the business that we're doing at the moment. We've seen significant growth in the last year. 60% up in our limited company and portfolio business as well. And that's where we're seeing all of our growth is in those key areas.
There's a lot of negative press at the moment about landlords selling their properties and so on and so on. But you think actually it's
certainly not seeing that. What we're seeing from the portfolio landlords is they're actually restructuring their finance, coming back for remortgages to capital raise to expand their portfolios.
Sure.
So I'm not seeing any of that.
And we're exactly the same. It's good to dispel that myth. And what about the north-south divide? Are you seeing a lot more properties being bought up north, or?
I think we still see a southern bias towards the business.
That's good.
That bottom right-hand corner of the country still produces the most significant part of the business for us.
Yeah.
But I think what we're trying to do is look at ways that we can design product that will help in different parts of the country. So what you'll see from us in a couple of weeks' time is a product designed specifically for lower value properties, and for maybe pushing the boundaries of how far down we can go in smaller loan sizes.
Sure.
So that's the way that we tend to try and assist those markets in trying to develop. I know we've seen a lot of people, and there's a lot of talk about people from down the south that are now investing up north. Because they see better returns, and I think we see some of that. But the heartland of the business is still down the south, because of the size of the loan size and everything. So it just disparagingly makes it look a bigger chunk of what we're doing. Much so that we've actually recruited a new region. We've created a new region in the south this year. So we've gone from 8 to 9 regions. We've got an extra ram out on the road. And to match that, we've now got exactly the same number of telephone BDMs. So we've got 9 and 9. So we've got an ever-expanding team to support this broader distribution.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then just lastly, why would... is there anything else you want to say to our audience of brokers in the market?
Yeah, I think help us to help you. If you've used Foundation in the past, maybe 18 months ago, you may have had one impression of what we do and the way we do things. I've been with Foundation now for the last 14 months. Things have changed massively, not only in terms of the amount of business we do and the proposition, but more importantly, and especially in the specialist sector, it's all about the service element. If you haven't got a service, people don't want to use you. And I guarantee you that our service at this time, and probably for the last 8 to 9 months, has been outstanding. We work within 2 days for applications, 1 day for post, and that has been consistent. And I think when you're dealing with a specialist lender, that is one of the key things. But once it's in, we can process it. But the most important thing is that you package the case properly for us. If you supply us the documents, you'll get your offer in 10 days. If you don't, it's going to drag on. And that's the problem. It's all about just working together. We can educate you and tell you what we need from you and the best way to present the cases. And then you get a really smooth journey. Or if you don't fancy doing the cases yourself, and you think the world of specialists is not for you, then come to one of our key partners like Dale at Impact, and they can put the cases through for you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate you coming in today. That's Mark Whitear from Foundation. I'm Dale Jannels from Impact. Really appreciate you watching our interview. There'll be more coming soon. In the meantime, if you want to see any of the previous interviews, please log on to our YouTube website, or our YouTube channel, which will be coming up on the screen shortly. Many thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.